Hello everybody, welcome back to UWG Esports. Tonight we're going to be watching a Overwatch match between our UWG Varsity team and Sam Houston State University White. It's going to be a very exciting game tonight because these two teams have had pretty amazing seasons so far. SHSU has not lost a single game all season, and Green Bay has only lost one game to SHSU, so it's a very competitive game here. I know Varsity GB wants to get that win back, after losing one time the entire season. And SHG wants to keep that win streak going. So it's going to be a very exciting game tonight. We are starting with Busan here, and we are currently waiting on the bans, I believe. Actually, no, we just got our first ban in. It's going to be a Zarya ban here on Busan. So looking forward to that. Sorry, I forgot to introduce ourselves here. My name is Paula, and then I'm with my co-host Astrid, and we are gonna have a great game tonight. Anything you want to say?
Absolutely. I'm really interested to see how Green Bay balances out their comps this time around. I noticed we had tryouts the other day, and I noticed that their play style was a bit different, even though it wasn't necessarily the same team. So I'm really interested to see how they balance out their comp this time around. It was in the end of the last match that I watched, even though we weren't casting for that. It came really down to the wire in the fifth match, or in the fifth game. So I'm really interested to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I'm also interested to see. This is just my own personal thing. What map picks we're gonna see tonight? Because we're good. Because I know that pretty much every game this season has gone from a usual circuit of Busan into Kings Row into Survasa into Colosseo in that order, and maybe circuit at the end. So I'm excited to see if that's exactly what we get this time, because I get a kick out of it every week when it's the same couple maps. So let's see if I'm right there.
It's lovely to just have that routine that you get into, but I think we have another map up our sleeves that's not talked about often, but it's still there. I think we kind of talked about it before we swapped over to live.
Alrighty, and it looks like we're going to the game here. Let's take a look at what we got going on. All right, yep. First point, Busan. Looks like Sanctuary. Very excited to see how this goes. I'm expecting a lot of, as per usual, very aggressive play from Green Bay. With, I imagine, Zoro under the tank playing Ball, Doomfist, maybe a bit of Sigma if it ends up not going well. There are a couple of interesting patch notes that came out yesterday that could make this interesting, where actually Sigma got buffed, but be a decent amount with his impact damage direct impact damage going from 15 to 25. So I'm imagining, we can see that Sigma come out from Zoro. They're already very oppressive, and with that extra impact damage, I can't imagine it's going to be any less oppressive. Then we got Rai coming out on that adventure. Makes perfect sense. I know he's been spending a lot of time on that, trying to get that to the best possible case. It is unfortunate that I believe they just lost some of the shield health on their ability usage, but still a very oppressive character if you know what you're doing.
Absolutely, and I noticed that SHSU also has a Venture on their team. They're also using a Ametryo, which is certainly a choice on this map. I don't see it that often anymore, but I think that's going to be a very interesting point for them to.
It does look like they just used this Ametryo to get out of spawn. We are going to the first fight here. Again, very aggressive play from Green Bay here, just taking that early control on the right side. Looks like they're pushing SSU back, even with a D.Va. And Matt having to run away, just the amount of damage they're putting in with that Sigma primary flyer. Also, the bash is not helpful for that, just being able to lay in all that damage.
No, absolutely. He eliminated just about half of her health just in that short amount of time. And I think Bastion will certainly be a driving force behind how this thing goes.
Oh yeah, 100%. Can be a very aggressive pick, especially into a D.Va, which you wouldn't expect with the damage matrix. But it's either you have to look at the Bastion only, or you don't have the ability to do anything because it'll just melt you out of mech. So that really makes sense why we're seeing the immediate switch on the Ram here, which has a lot more versatility with that Bastion, being able to play around shield and block rather than just praying your damage defense matrix does enough. Seems to be coming out from SSSU here, so it seems like they're confident that just a tank switch will be able to give them the advantage they need here.
No, absolutely. You can see SSSU feels a lot more confident with their muster than they did beforehand, and it looks like they're going to try and go in for a deeper push this time around.
It's early pick coming out from Green Bay here. First pick onto Ana. Very unfortunate for SSSU because they just lose a lot of value with the healing and the sleep dart, and they lose both supports there. The fight seems to be over for SSSU as they run back to spawn. That's not what you can do when you lose both supports, especially in just such a high damage comp with the Venture and the Bastion and the Ana. It's just not what you can really do against that if you lose both these supports early.
No, absolutely. I saw that they made a switch off the Tracer a little earlier, who's already at an ult, and given Tracer's versatility, she could easily handle that Bastion.
It does look like SSSU is kind of in an unfortunate situation here because they're walking in the fight into 4 ults from Green Bay. Very poor ult disadvantage for SSSU here, but they might be able to make this work. Nano comes out onto Sigma, just trying to keep that fight a little longer. We got Tector going back on the back line here, diving it. Gets one. Seems to be a support trade. Immediately gets taken out by Savathun on the Bastion, and Bastion's able to just clutch that up, and they flip the point back over.
Absolutely, I think Green Bay may cap this when you see the Venture going in there, just trying to keep them at bay with the Sigma.
Yeah, it was a beautiful play by Tector here, but when you just have that Bastion, like even if you're diving the Bastion line, you have the Bastion just pummeling damage into your front. Like no matter what kind of picks you get, it's hard for them to kind of capitalize on that when they're staring down the barrel of a Bastion, just pumping all the damage in the world into them. It's kind of hard to follow up.
No, absolutely, and the corners on that map in particular are very, very crucial. And once you have Bastion at a particular spot, there's really nothing you can do.
I'm sure it's fine.
We do have a Reaper swap coming up from Prosper here, probably just to deal with that Bastion, because Reaper very, very good pick in the Bastion, just because he's such a large target and you can get behind him really easy as long as you play around turret. All you have to do is look at him because he has the hitbox of just basically a tank. So you just look at him and he blows up in theory. You're also seeing a Sigma come out from Matt here, which again, very good pick into the Bastion. There's a lot you can do with that, with the accretion, just the stun amount of turret, the grasp, just get healed from the damage and the shield. It's very, very good pick in the Bastion there. It seems like they're really building their comp around that.
No, absolutely. I'm noticing that I can't tell who this is as SHSC support swapped off to a Lucio that I didn't see last match. So we'll see if they can get something going with the new keyword.
Unfortunately, it does look like they do lose 4 early. Rye does unfortunately drill off the map on Venture, but
all worth it though.
We've all done it. We've all done it at least a couple times. Rock lineup coming out from Zoro trying to catch someone out of spawn. They're not pulling any stops here. Maybe to make up for the Venture falling off the map. All right, SSSU going in, very aggressive first push, having the Sigma just run through the show. We have Reaper, looks like he's teleporting on the backside, does get taken out by Peaches, unfortunately. So a very good attempt at a flank, but it just wasn't enough, especially into that Bastion. You gotta be really careful trying to flank that, and it does look like they fall, just losing that DPS early. Really slow down their attack here.
No, absolutely. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was going to say Alticon is also still on the side of Green Bay here because they are almost at 4. Meanwhile, the closest SSSU has is Sigma with the map. Meanwhile, GB is coming into this fight with an Artillery Barrage and 62 Nano and also Graphitic Flux. So three very strong ults to just hold space here. So I'm wondering to see how they're going to do this. Looks like they're going around the left here, just trying to get past that main choke, maybe flank a little bit. Artillery Barrage does come up from Savath, who does pick up 1 onto Prosper there. Just slows down that approach. Very good, just getting rid of a lot of that damage output.
No, absolutely. And I feel like some of Green Bay heroes are underestimated as well. Both Peaches and Jay, in their respective heroes, have come in very clutch in past games this season. And it looks like the effort that they went into after losing those matches is really paying off here.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. There's Jay and Peaches is a very difficult backline to, as we've seen this entire season, very difficult backline to dive. As they do a really good job of making sure both of them are still alive and keeping themselves fit. And as I say that, almost almost gets Peaches as I'm saying that, but Rai comes in with a tectonic shock and does manage to take out that tracer before they do anything more.
Absolutely, that was a stellar first game on Green Bay side.
Mm-hmm. No, very good. I think they are coming back with kind of um, a different drive as for last time. Because last time they faced SSU, they had or Sam Houston, they had a very successful season so far. They hadn't dropped a single game, and they barely even dropped maps. And then they went against Sam Houston and went 3-2. Yeah, they went 3-2 and lost. So I feel like they're coming back with a new drive to just absolutely just come back, maybe even full wipe the series, but we'll see what happens there. I am hoping for a 5-game series as that's just more fun to watch, but yeah, we'll see how it goes because that was a very strong first game from Green Bay, not dropping a single point.
Absolutely, it was, and I think something that we sort of talked about earlier. So I know some of our players are either graduating this semester or just choosing not to come back next season.
Yeah.
So I do think that they're out to prove something because these are some players who have been with us since the start of Overwatch Esports at Green Bay. And so I feel like they're out to prove themselves this final season because the program itself has come a really long way.
Yeah, I know Jay in particular has been with UWGB Esports for a long time. I think maybe since, because I don't know exactly for sure, but definitely as long as I've been here. So I think he does want to leave on a high note, winning finals for PCL. Even with the season he's had already, he'd be leaving a great time, like a great, like almost like perfect season, only losing one game. But especially if you win finals with that, it's a very good point to leave on. So I feel like that's driving him a lot here.
Yeah, for sure. I played with both Jay and Riley during the first year of esports, really before we had anything official going. It was more student run. But yeah, they're just from going from back then to now has been really an amazing journey. Watching them grow as people and as players.
And even without like the people leaving, we also have Zoro is new for the Overwatch roster this semester, and I think he's trying to really cement himself on the varsity roster. And there's a really strong tank player and a little bit of a DPS, just trying to make sure he keeps that spot of I am doing as best as I possibly can. I am being as aggressive as humanly possible and somehow getting out. I don't know how he does this every time, but it's
just out to prove that I am him.
Yeah, very. The one word I would use to describe GB varsity this semester has been confidence, and that's the same for SSU, and rightfully so for both teams. Again, both have had pretty good seasons. Only with so SSU is also coming into this with the thought of maybe we've won every game, we've beaten them before. Why would we need to try anything else? And that might also be part of the reason, is because they're going in with this level of confidence of we're winning every game, we've beaten these people before. Let's just play autopilot here. And we are going to Kings Row. So I am currently I'm one on my prediction here. We'll see how it goes. So I can't say I'm surprised because I watched a couple of Sam Houston's games before this, and they usually pick Kings Row, or like this everyone does. But they also have a really strong Kings Row, running a Sig and maybe a little bit of Malga and Zarya. So very strong Kings Row comp here with their pick. So it's going to be a bit of a tough game for GB, I think. But GB's Kings Row is also nothing to scoff at. I do remember one of the first games of the season, we ran a Hammond on Kings Row and did amazing. So honestly, Green Bay Kings Row is also. So again, this is a really competitive map for them. I have.
Were we casting that game together?
No, I think I was dodgy with that one.
Yeah, you may have been with Audrey with that one, but I was watching it watching it at home. And that was a stellar game.
Yeah, because also it's a map that's good for a lot of these players' hero pools. Because we've got, let's see here, because we've got at least for GB, it's very good map for Sig, very good map for Junker Queen, which I know is Zora's picks. A good map for a lot of Savathun's picks as well, who sometimes swaps in the tank because they can play a hog there pretty well. They can play a little bit of ram. So it's really good for the tank pick. It's really good for the DPS. Venture on King's Row can be a menace, and then Savathun can be on that Widow or Sojourn. Very impressive picks on that map, as we've seen this season. And then support-wise, it's beautiful for the way Peaches and Jay tend to play, which is very like self-supportive, or very anti-dive mentality, which is how, I mean, that's not exactly unique to supports, but they do it very well, where it's playing really far back, playing those good off angles, and King Road offers a lot of opportunities for that some maps just don't. So it's a very strong map for a lot of these players' picks, because I know Tector on Sam Houston's side also plays a lot of Venture. I think I've only seen him exclusively play Venture, so very strong with this map. Prosper plays a lot of that Tracer, Soj, Cass. It's a very versatile map, so it makes it perfect for the second game here.
There's an ability for some very interesting mirror comps as well because Rye tends to play Tracer as well. So I didn't even know he swapped over to maining Venture really.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first band we have is Bastion. Takes care of Sabathun for now.
Honestly, normally a Bastion ban for me would read as protection, just because you don't really see that many Bastion bans in this level of competitive play, which isn't like unfair, just because Bastion's pretty easy to deal with. But after the last map, and especially after he just got a recent buff yesterday, which buffed his DPS in recon form and like his non-turret, so it's a very safe ban here. It might also be a little bit of a protection ban against maybe that Venture, just because Tector Venture on this map is very impressive.
No, absolutely. But taking away the Bastion is going to open up an opportunity for Sam Houston here. Give them a lot more leeway to be, I feel, more aggressive than they were able to be on Busan.
Oh yeah, 100%. Just because you're not having to deal with all that, especially if you want to play Zarya, which I know Matt is not unused to, because contrary to popular belief in some ranks, Bastion and the Zarya is not fun for Zarya, because yes, you're at full charge. It does not matter if you have no bubble and you blow up immediately. So if you, it's a very especially if they want to play the Zarya here, which I feel like they might. At on attack is what I've seen them do a lot of the time. That Bastion ban is very good, because then it also enables Zarya into the Sigma, and with Sora's Sigma being as impressive as it was last game, it just opens up a lot of new lanes for them to play this game.
Absolutely. And then the second ban we got is Ana.
Okay, so I'm wondering, because that's our ban, I believe.
But again, Peaches is very versatile. She can play pretty much anyone. I've seen her play a lot of Kiriko and Juno.
I'm expecting either a Wu Yang Juno or Wu Yang Kiri, because I know Jan the Wu Yang can be very, very scary. So I'm expecting to see that kind of comp come out. Yeah. So we are on King's Row here, and we're just waiting for the picks to come out. Again, looks like we are defending first. Their GB is defending first, so good to see how that goes. I'm expecting also to see a Sigma come out from Zora again, just because it was so effective. Oh, we're getting a Ryan pick from Zora.
Ooh.
And look at that, we got the Wu Yang Juno.
There we go.
The Ryan pick is a bit not unfortunate. That's not the word I was looking for. It's unfortunate because I was wrong, but I mean it makes perfect sense because again, I'm imagining they've done research on Sam Houston here, and they've also played against him before, so they might be expecting that Zarya pick. And Ryan and the Zarya is a very, very good pick with that, especially without the Bastion. And then we also have a Mei coming out, so you can just isolate the Zarya and just pummel her. It looks like we're getting the Kiri instead of the Juno, so I'm still right about that one. We are seeing a different pick from Tector here. Maybe not running the Widow out of spawn. Got me excited there for a second. I love to see a good Widow out of spawn on King's Row, and we're running a very rush heavy comp here with the Zara and the actually we're running a Zarya rush with
feels like they may try and TP on the point there.
And it looks like they're setting up for that. No, they're TPing on the high ground here, just trying to get behind them, put that pressure on early. Especially with that Reinhardt, it's a very impressive strat because Reinhardt can't really do that much about height. They're just trying to take that high ground control. Let's surround them a little bit. We got Wi-Fi trying to take some action here, trying to just poke him out of that high ground, but there's not much he can do by himself, especially when charged by a Zarya.
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing that you can do in that situation. Just keep your distance.
But GB's playing against both as well they could. They're just trying to keep that low ground. They're not trying to contest too much. They're just kind of waiting for Sam Houston to jump in and make a mistake. They're not trying to be too proactive here because in this situation, being proactive is ironically how you lose a lot of the time. So they're playing this very well, just trying to bait out a lot of cooldowns and then kind of capitalize on that.
No, absolutely. And what they're doing is their ability to go to opposite sides to try and split up the supports from the DPS and the tank is being sort of
Ooh,
effective.
we do have Rye coming in with 2 with the drill as Savathun and Rye just ran up to high ground there. The only one's left is Lucio. This thing's gonna be staggered here. Kiri gets staggered, trying to. Both supports are staggered now. It's gonna make it. It's gonna buy a lot of time for GB on this defense here because they can't really go in without them.
No, absolutely.
We're switching off the sim tech here. I think they realize that, like, well, yes, they can TP behind when the entire team's on point. You're not really catching anyone on the high ground. The TPing behind doesn't really give much value. Prosper falls right as the fight begins. It's a little late on that Wraith there. They're walking into Blizzard and Blizzard, Shatter, and Tectonic Shock. Blizzard does come out, gets one, it looks like, but he does manage to get out. But that is going to go stall on that.
Then it does look like they're going to get the Zarya here as well.
Again, it doesn't give many. Wi-Fi does fall. Where was he? Oh, Shatter does come out, gets 2. He does fall for it. I think the idea there was to stall it out a bit, but now that the tank's dead along with Wi-Fi, I think the idea was trying to stabilize and stall, but you just kind of fall apart at that point as Hector goes in and gets 2. Because without the tank, you open up the Venture to do a lot there. Gets out at 1 HP.
That was a wonderful push from Sam Houston there, and I see Zarya's going forward to try and create
Ryan going in, trying to stall a little bit with Wi-Fi there. Zoro and Wi-Fi just playing a stall game here. I don't know if they expect to win this fight, but just to try and eat as much of the clock as possible on this first point.
No, absolutely. I mean, they still have 3 minutes left, so there's a lot of time left.
Jay gets staggered there by Prosper. Very good dive there. Very unfortunate for Green Bay, because now they're walking back. A little late with that Wu Yang, but they do still have all decon on the side of Sam Houston actually. They're walking in with 5 here. You got Zarya Grab, Death Blossom, Tectonic Shock, we got Beat and Kitsune Rush. So really, it's going to be a really hard hold for Green Bay here because they're down 2 ults. Zoro does fall again. I'm wondering if they're thinking of swapping their Reinhardt now, just with the amount of damage it's putting out into him, especially that Reaper Venture. Very difficult to play Ryan to that. However, Savathun does have Blizzard here. It looks like he's going for a sneaky Blizzard trying to stall, unless he doesn't commit to it. Okay, probably a good call, honestly. Oh, unless. Good wall on Azar. Yep, Blizzard does come out on point. Does catches 3, but the Suzu comes out, blocking the freeze, but they still clean up the fight with Riley coming in with the Tectonic Shock to finish things off. You're switching off the Maya to Ashe here. Another complaint about an Ashe pick. Very good in King's Row, especially the second and third point. Just really good long angles, especially when you don't have anyone to contest those angles. You just be careful not to get dove here.
No, absolutely. We saw Riley trying to push in a little bit further here, but there was not much he could do. I'm sorry, had to keep it on her.
Yeah.
Grab coming here.
Yeah, only 1 ult coming out from SSSU, and they're getting a lot of space off of that. And it looks like Peaches did try to Kitsune Rush to try and outlive the grab. It just wasn't enough. So now they're walking in with 3 ults on the third point compared to Green Bay's 1.
And Sam Houston's ult control has been very good this map.
That's the thing. That's the consistent thing I've noticed with them all their games. Is they tend to be very patient with their uses of ults. Like even if they're losing a fight, they wait until they know they have to use it, rather than having it be reactive. They're very proactive with their ult usage, which is very helpful.
Absolutely. And I see Zora has Shatter once again. But the Reaper has been handling him pretty nicely thus far. Yeah.
Well, the one thing with Shatter in this comp here is like they have the Zarya bubble, but they don't have that much to block Shatter. So as long as you wait up bubble, you can Shatter pretty much anyone. Shatter does come out, does catch, looks like 2, gets 1 with that. Looks like they're about to get 2, but at the very least they're stalling here. Zora getting the support he needs to live through that entire barrage of damage. Looks like he's going for a little bit of a sneaky high ground play here with Rai. Still have 3 ults on the side of Sam Houston. I'm going to see how they use that. Especially with the rush here. I'm going to be surprised if I see a rush go through this hallway. Yep, there it comes out from grass there. Right through that hallway. They still have 2 ults, but they're down 2. I wouldn't be surprised if they try using a beat just to stabilize it, but at this point I think they know the fight's over. Yep, and then 2 more fall, and then Prosper looks like he just jumps off the map to reset. Very good reset from Prosper there. Just try not to stagger yourself. Just make sure, like, sometimes you just gotta jump off the map. That's
No,
kind of how it
you
goes.
gotta do what you gotta do as long as you're able to get back around the same time as the rest of your team.
Mm-hmm.
And he's almost at ultimate as well, so there will be 3 at full ults by the time they get back, I believe.
Yeah, just about. And that Blossom is can be real nasty if he knows what he's doing with it. Looks like he picks one on the Savathun here. Looks like he's just waiting out the rest of the team to follow up on that. Very good, very patient Reaper play here. You love to see it. Looks like he might be going for the backline share to Peaches. No, sorry, not Peaches J. They have such similar hero pools. I forget which one's this sometimes. Bob does come out onto point here, just putting pressure into behind, kind of stalling out their push. Very good Bob, just to split their attention directly behind them. So the choice is either get shot by Bob or get shot by your team. Very good Bob usage there.
Absolutely. I didn't even notice the Savathun flipped off the Ashe at first.
Very, very good Bob play there. Tector does come out with Tectonic Shock. It's not enough to win the fight though, because they just the GB just has spawn advantage. It's a strong spawn advantage. Death Blossom comes out, doesn't pick any, gets shattered. Beautiful response from Zoro there, just shattering the Death Blossom. I feel like that's what he was saving it for, just because he knew he had it.
And Green Bay has a good stacker going now.
Yeah, so they might, honestly, with 23 seconds on the clock here, at this point being how it is, especially with GB having 3 ults here, it might end at the 2-point push, which is a very good push in the King's Row still, nothing to scoff at, especially on this 3rd point. They got it pretty far. Ryfry going for a sneaky flank here. Probably going to shock this. This is a good thing. Look, Kusunirashi had to put all the ults out onto the point there. Ryfry get a lot of attention to him, but that means they're not putting attention on the point. And then does look like Ryfry's going to get one. It's a very drawn out fight here. Zoro on the Doomfist.
They're trying to avoid. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. Looks like they're just trying to stall it out here again. Again, they didn't get quite as many kills as you'd hope they would get with all those ult usages, but I think a B came out and rushed from Sam Houston. Just makes it difficult to kind of get anything there. But in worst case, even if they full cap here, that's still pushing it back to overtime. Very good hold on King's Row, and a very good push from Sam Houston. So it's a good back and forth this entire map. So this is still keeping it exciting.
Switching sides.
Oh, sorry, I got to drink some water there. very dehydrating work this is. Yapping for an hour.
No, absolutely. It doesn't even feel like it's been an hour.
It hasn't, but it's been a good 20 minutes?
Yeah, close to it.
Yeah. Now for the attack for Green Bay here, I'm gonna call a Doomfist again, just because we saw Zoro bring that out, and I know he likes bringing out the Doom. And probably so that, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Savathun of the Widow out of spawn here. Oh, Savathun of the Cast and Sigma coming out. Okay, I could not have been more wrong about that one. And then looks like we're playing BAP on Sam Houston is one of the main switches here. BAP right now, very strong pick. They did just lower the Immortality Field cooldown by how many seconds? I had the passion. 1 second. Let me grab the passion notes. Cooldown reduced on Immortality Field to 25 to 22 seconds. So a good 3-second lower cooldown on Immortality Field makes it a much more potent ability than it already was. And then we are seeing the ball and the Widow come out. So looks like we're running a pretty standard attack from Green Bay here with the ball, Widow, Venture.
Something I noticed, Prosper initially picked Echo, but switched over to Genji, so I'm wondering if Echo could be a factor down the road as well.
Yeah, that would be something to see, because Echo's always been in a pretty decent spot. Just because the way her kit works means she's just pretty impressive no matter what you do, if you know what you're doing. But that's a lot of characters in this game, really. Ryfry does fall. Was a 1-for-1 trade. Both Ventures do end up falling. And then you do lose Savathun on Green Bay. Safety does pick up some pretty even DPS trades here. I'm wondering if just because with that ball, Green Bay's able to capitalize it a little better than SSSU. And Zoro does prove my point by diving Baptiste there. Does pick up one. Ryfry picks up another. Yeah, again, this very classic Green Bay comp here, just maximum aggression. Max just go in, dive as much as possible. Even if you die, it doesn't matter. Just keep diving, and eventually it'll work.
No, absolutely, and they have a decent stagger going on as well.
Yeah. Because when you're playing, especially if you're playing like the ball and the venture, two characters that can get back to point very fast, you can afford to be a little less safe. Just because you have a lot of tools to get out. Zora does fall there. It's a trade of a healer for a support for a tank. Wi-Fi falls too. So maybe they got a little too aggressive. But again, still, it's because they're right next to spawn. Like even if they weren't, they get back very fast, and that does mean they're building alt charge. As fast as humanly possible here, with Wi-Fi already having Tectonic Shock.
No, absolutely, and Hammond is also very close to his ult, which would be very interesting to see at this choke point for them.
I am wondering if Wi-Fi is just going to run out Tectonic in the choke here, or if they might be able to just rush past the choke here. The issue is playing this into a Sigma. Mines do come out in that choke, gives them a lot more space to work with. As you're saying, yeah, the rush up's coming out through the corridor, just trying to push as much further fast as possible. Very good all plays from Green Bay here. But again, you kind of need that, because playing this comp into a Sigma, it works. It's just a little difficult for the ball and Venture specifically to get as much value, because then Sigma just is very hard to deal with. He has accretion, so if you go in, you can get rocked, or you can stun with the rock. The shield comes out, makes it hard for your supports to heal you if you're diving, and then just kinetic grasping as a very useful ability for sustaining there. But Zoro just doesn't care. He runs in. They are walking into 4 ults on the side of Sam Houston with Blade, Tectonic Shock, Amplify, and Tsune Rush coming in. Wi-Fi does get one with Tectonic Shock, but does fall to Prosper. And Zoro does pick up one up to Grass. So it does look like they're pretty good trades here. High Noon comes up with Zapdoon, picks up Tector. Very good High Noon. 2 ults used inside of Green Bay for 1 on the side of Sam Houston. So they're still walking into a Amplification Matrix and a Kitsune Rush, which are 2 ults you don't necessarily want to be walking into. They are picking a Hog. Matt picks Roadhog here, just to try and hook that ball in just like that, trying to deny him a lot of space, and it does seem to be working here for him. Just really trying to deny his ability to dive.
No, absolutely. So wasn't expecting a hog pick there, but he's very underestimated when it comes to this final choke point here. And I feel like Zoro knows that. He's going to be very careful here about where he places his ult alongside Jay.
Yeah, Sam Houston still very, very patient with their ultimate uses. They know they have 4 minutes on the clock. They know they can afford to just ult for no reason. So they have to be very careful about how they ult, because if they ult wrong, Green Bay has a lot of time to capitalize on that. Wi-Fi does pick up one attack. That means they are losing out on that Tectonic Shock. Wonder if we're going to see a Kitsune Rush here just to try and hold the point, especially the counter rush. There it is, counter rush coming out from Grass into Green Bay, but with the Aura Ray from Jay, it's not going to be enough to outdeal that damage. And unless Hector manages to get forward here, it does look like Green Bay is going to full cap with 3:23 remaining on the clock. That's a 3-minute overtime deficit here. So Green Bay really is coming back with just full. I don't want to say anger, but definitely some
Determination.
Yeah, that's probably a better word for it. Not determination to just prove that we can still beat you. It's like we may have lost before, but it was close, and we're just going to prove that we can beat you.
No, absolutely. The adjustments that they've made have been nothing short of spectacular. This heavy time advantage that they have here is going to be very crucial, and this is going to be a great final push from both sides.
Yeah, well, looks like we're running the hog. Matt was running the hog straight out of spawn on defense here, probably expecting that ball. And it seems that Zoro was calling that, picking Junkerpeen out of spawn instead. Still not necessarily amazing into the hog, but it's a lot better than ball. So I think he's expecting that ball out of spawn there, or the hog out of spawn there. We do have Peaches on Moira. I wonder if we're going to stick that. I haven't really seen a Moira on this team in a minute, so I wonder if we're sticking that just to try and, again, amp up that aggression, amp up that we're just going to put out as much damage as humanly possible. Good luck. And that's pretty good, especially into a hog, just because he doesn't really have that many ways of damage mitigation. So if you just pump damage into as much as possible, there's not really much you can do. Especially when you don't have an Ana, you kind of need to play around just pumping damage in, because you can't anti-kill.
No, absolutely.
Looks like we're taking a very slow fight here from Green Bay. No sim tricks, just kind of slowly playing out cooldown cycles, waiting out the hook. Hook does come out onto Zoro, immediately calls, runs on the Kiriko, gets one, Hog's frozen. Thank God, I'm so happy they brought that back on May. Hog's frozen, does hook again, does pick up Sabathun, but it doesn't look like it's gonna be enough here because they're still running at a 4-3 disadvantage. Looks like Green Bay, that's technically a 4K here. Looks like the Green Bay is going to cap the point.
It does.
And I think that just wins the map, actually, just with the amount of deficit. Yeah, that just wins the map. With the time deficit means all they had to do was cap there.
That's amazing.
Again, the idea is just run with full damage. Don't care about healing. Sabathun getting play of the game here. Is it going to be that high noon? Oh, absolutely clean shots on that. High noon coming on a tech turn in the last second there. Oh, you love to see it. Alrighty. Again, very, very strong game from Green Bay here. Honestly, after the 5-game slugfest they had last time, I was expecting that again. But the way it's looking right now, it might honestly be a they might end up with a 3-game series here.
We may. I don't want to jinx it, but the way that their games the entire season went was pretty lopsided. Most of them, except for I think 1 or 2 games, were 3-0 sweeps.
So I'm a little bit of a map prediction here. I'm expecting a Saravasa, but we'll see if it is. If they run the usual gambit of just running straight to Flashpoint here, or if they want to run a little bit of push or escort. I don't know. Could also switch it up a bit, run a circuit right away, maybe a Gibraltar. I'd love to see a Gibraltar. I haven't seen a single Gibraltar all season. I'd love to see one. I know most people don't. A lot of people don't seem to like Gibraltar, but I love it. It's a
fun map that has a lot of interesting angles to play. A lot of heroes can be utilized in very interesting combinations. I don't get the hate personally.
And we are running Saravasa. I might just be the GOAT. I simply cannot stop predicting. Ignore the times I was wrong and I was always right. That's always how that goes, right? Yeah. Just ignore the times I was wrong. So Saravasa is coming out here. It's not that it's a bad map pick. There's a reason it's picked so often. It's a very out of the Flashpoint maps, especially the New Junk isn't bad. It's just a little. I don't know, the layout of New Junk is very strange to me. There's a lot of really weird angles on that map. The points are really weird to play around compared to Saravasa. And Atlas, I have played 1 game on Atlas since it came out because no one votes for it, no matter how much I want to, just so I can understand how it plays. But for the 1 game I played, that also has a lot of weird angles. It feels more New Junk than Saravasa, so I think that might be why people don't prefer it too much. Alrighty. Okay, and then looks like we're banning. Looks like Sam Houston is banning Doomfist here. I mean, makes perfect sense in Saravasa. There's just a lot of Doom on Saravasa can be on any Flashpoint map can be terrifying. You just have a lot of ways to remaneuver. The maps are very walled in a lot of the time. Be very good for Doom. And then looks like they are banning. We are banning, or GB's banning Reaper. Makes sense after King's Row because that Prosperous Reaper was really causing a problem in the backline there. So that makes perfect sense. Just trying to, especially on Flashpoint, that Reaper can be even more aggressive, just with the angles you can take on the points. So it makes perfect sense. Anything you want to say?
No, it's going to be very interesting to see the comps that both of these teams bring out with their respective bans. I think this will factor greatly into how Sam Houston picks their DPS, because Reaper, as you said, is very, very important in winning this map. And so without him to push into that backline as heavy, it's going to be very interesting to see the route they choose to take.
I'm wondering if we're gonna see a Winston come out from Zoro again, because I think every time I see him say Saravasa, it's always the ball or the Winston. But honestly, I think Winston on this map's a little better because there's not many. The ball angles on this map are a little weird, but we'll see what Zoro manages to pull out here. And then for Sam Houston, I would not be surprised to see a Malga come out. I know Matt likes that Malga, especially just into the comps GB likes to play. The Malga can be very good. Well, actually, not too much of the Sig, but you don't really see Sig too much on Flashpoint just because I think he's the slowest tank in the game. So it does kind of removing Sigma from the equation does open up for that Malga, which I think they might just run to try and kind of match GB's damage output, especially without that Reaper. So I'm interested to see how that goes. As for the rest of the picks, I mean, Texture's playing Venture. I'm confident in that. Rye's probably playing Venture unless he wants to pull out a Tracer just to mess with me in particular. No, he's going to pull out the Hanzo. That's what he's going to pull out. Going to pull out the famous Hanzo pick.
Yeah, watch him run Hanzo alongside Freya on this map.
Yeah, no. So I'm interested to see how it goes. Savathun might, or they I think before GB switched out Savathun and Zora on this map, just so Zora's able to play Genji. Because Genji on this map, there's a lot of really good angles for him to just poke out, get out really easy, especially on first point. So I'm interested to see if they switch here. But in the meantime, it looks like they're taking a 5-minute break. So I'll let you, if you have anything final to say, we're gonna wrap up here, and then we'll be back in a couple minutes. You have anything you want to say before we go to break?
I'm all good.
Alrighty, so we will see you back here in a couple minutes. welcome back, everybody. We are back. We are back, and we are on Saravasa. And it looks like I was right with that Winston pick. They did also switch Savathun and Zoro, so I was just right all around. I simply am a genius, I guess. Looks like we're running. Okay, there's one to CB out of spawn. Running the Diva here when I don't know about the Winston is a little bit unfortunate, but that is the joy of walking blind out of spawn. Everything else, this team looks pretty consistent. They're running Wu Yang here still. Grass is still on Kiri. Peach is on Kiri. Looks like pretty, I don't want to say standard, but standard concept you're expecting here. Again, Green Bay just playing that maximum aggression comp here, which a lot of things are able to dive. Wu Yang put a lot of damage. Savathun coming really low here. Does fall to the Diva, so SSSU does have early point control. Looks like they are coming back with a new level of determination after losing 2 in a row here. Prosper getting 2, and they do take the first fight and do cap point.
And we did see Savathun immediately switch over to Zarya.
I mean, might as well at this point. It's the last game of the season, or I don't know, it could be. Sorry, not last game of the season. It is match point here, so just running the direct counter of the Diva here does make perfect sense. Zoro falling again to grass. Looks like he got dinked a couple too many times by the Kiri there. Not ideal for Green Bay, but looks like they're just gonna play this a little more patient, waiting for Zoro to come back. Just playing this really patiently here. But that is giving the SSSU a lot of time to build their ults here, because they're doing a lot of poke damage, letting supports get their ults. Looks like they're almost coming up with Pulse or Sam Houston here. So playing patiently makes sense, but it's also letting them get a lot of Sam Houston get a lot of opportunities here, just kind of waiting for a mistake. Much like Sam Houston's defense actually on Kings Row. Being really patient with cooldown usage can be a little bit iffy if you are the attacker. Wu Yang does come out. Doesn't get anyone. Diva Bomb Self-Destruct comes out just to try and extend Matt's life here. Peach is just healing a lot from the back lane here, just trying to keep everyone alive. It looks like they are still pretty even fight here. I think they're 1-for-1 trades here, so pretty even. Pulse does. Sam Houston did cap point. That is. I mean, good for Sam Houston. That was a very strong defense there. Really strong first push, really strong defense. Looks like they are, again, coming up in new level of determination after losing the first 2 maps here. They don't want to get 3-0'd, which makes sense. So we're walking into the spawn to pick up route there. Okay.
Again, I think they're trying to keep those healers staggered. They know what's about to come.
Tectonic Shock comes out when Riley is very low. Unfortunate into the rush, just not enough to keep him alive. Honestly, the ult that you see here from Green Bay is a little bit. The nice way, a little bit disjointed here. Doesn't seem the most coordinated, but you know these things happen. You lose first fight, kind of throws you off a bit. I'm imagining they're just gonna try and regroup here, try and come up with a new plan of attack here. But they are walking into a Kitsune Rush and a Teutonic Shock, so it's a very hard point to push into. But
it does look like Savathun just got ultimate for Zarya, so seeing a possible grab into a blade would be interesting.
The grab blade isn't. It's not the. Oh yeah, grab comes out. Grab blade does come out. Picks up 1. He's gonna pick up 2.
I called
picks up
that
3.
one.
That's good. Very good call there. Picked up 3. Gonna pick up 4 here. Looks like on the Wu Yang. Wu Yang comes out on the Kiri, but it's not enough to keep him alive, and they do flip the point at 95%. Very good combo. Like I said, they were just kind of after the rush, Tectonic Shock didn't really go the way they planned. I think they wanted to take a second to be like, okay, what ults do we want to use, and how do we not just throw them out at random times? Because that is a mentality you kind of get into if you lose a fight. It's just kind of you want to throw at ults because you think surely this will work. And that's a very understandable mentality. Lord knows I've done it more than enough times to understand the thought process.
No, absolutely, and it does look like Diva got her ultimate just now, along with Tracer coming up very soon. Given their ultimate control thus far, I do think that Green Bay's going to have to do a much better job at controlling these choke points here, just because Sam Houston is so coordinated with how they stagger their ultimate.
Diva Bomb, Soldier's ready to come out, just trying to keep Matt alive for longer, using more as a second life. It does pick up Zoru, which is so got a little more value than I think they were expecting, and looks like they are gonna flip the point back, and that's Savage can't pick up 4, which is what the to do. Riley's still Wi-Fi's still on point, just not able to pick it up, and they do flip it back at 99%. Very close point there, and they still might have touch with Savage. Zoro here. So it looks like they have touch, trying to just keep that overtime, wait for the team to show up. Looks like he's gonna get picked for it, but with touch and walking back with Tonic, they might have a chance to flip it. Although they did just lose 2 there, so it might have just lost that point. Again, it's worth trying to. 5 points specifically, it's worth trying to get those last minute touches, just because by the time you respawn, they're still walking to the point, so it's not the worst idea, even if you stagger a little bit, because look, they're already back with the team here, so not too bad.
No, absolutely. And Green Bay's ults are getting high now. I think D.Va is at, what is that, 35?
That is 6-7. Good old 67 there. At 70% now. I could not do it.
Zarya has ult now.
Looks like they're going for a grab shock here, trying to trap him in the shock damage. But I think Suzu came out to get them out of the grab there. But doesn't stop Ryan from picking up 2. Zoro's still putting pressure on, both DPS still putting pressure on. Might be able to flip this point here, or cap it, but we'll see. Peaches does fall, lose their healing on this fight. Rafa does fall, so it does look, unless Zoro can pick up 2 here, or 3. It looks like, Savage coming back with Bubble. They're walking back on the point. Zoro does still have Blade. Probably still going to wait till the rest of the team to show up, but pick up 1. Honestly, blading here wouldn't be bad. Yep, here goes with Blade. Trying to jump the back line here. Wu Yang does ult, trying to counter that, but forcing a Wu Yang ult for Blade is a pretty good trade. Looks like Kiri's pretty low here. Might be able to get the reset on dash there. There we go. And then only 2 on point. It's going to be the D.Va, and looks like only 1 on point. D.Va gets put back, bombed. Self-destruct just come out, trying to get that, just stall at the point. The rest of the team came back, but it's just not enough. This is a very long fight on point here.
Absolutely, this is one of the longer fights for control that I've seen.
We do have Wi-Fi switching to the cast here. I know his cast is pretty good, especially just trying to, especially with the Tracer Venture comp, trying to play more of an anti-dive here. Isn't the worst idea, because both Jay and Peaches are very good at playing anti-dive. I would not wish Venture Tracer on most supports. So picking that cast, you're just trying to get that more of a strong backline. Makes perfect sense.
No, absolutely. Just any combination of Venture and Tracer combined with support is a recipe for disaster. They wreak havoc on your backline.
Yeah, Pulse does come out, does miss, and then looks like Prosper does die for that, and then they also lose Route, and now they're just walking in. Grabs come out from Savathun here just to kind of secure that point. They are at 70% there, so we will see how this goes. There, GB Classic coming out, walking into the spawn. A little bit risky to Sam Houston, I think, because they're proving that they're a formidable team. So we'll see if this ends up being a bit. Nope, they're pushing back. They're falling back pretty good here. Not getting staggered on the way back, very good. We have a High Noon coming up, and they cap the point with High Noon and Wu Yang ult still available for a second fight. Meanwhile, Sam Houston is only 80% to Shock and Wu Yang. I think it's Tidal Wave. I should remember the ult names. I can't remember.
There's so many now. It gets hard to remember.
Yeah, it's fair.
I am very intrigued by the mirror comp that Matt and Prospect broke out. Or sorry, Prospect broke out.
I mean, it makes sense. You're running Tracer to a cast, Wu Yang, Kiri. Not a very fun, like cast Kiri by itself. Not very fun for Tracer, just because they can kill you very fast. And with the Wu Yang just having everything he can use to get out, it makes perfect sense to switch off the Tracer there. They are coming. Sam Houston is coming back to fight with. What's gonna be High Noon? Yeah, High Noon, Tectonic Shock, and Kitsune Rush. Very good. These 2 very good ults to push in. And High Noon is more of a kill confirmation stall thing. High Noon is a very weird ult to use. I will say, as someone who plays a lot of casts, High Noon's very weird to use. So we'll see how these are here. Oh, beautiful grab coming up, Savathun just stalling it into the rush, trying to stall out that damage. Very beautiful responsive ult from Savathun there, because that does pick up 2 for them. It looks like it's going to be 3 in a second, unless Zoro falls to the Zarya, which he did, which is you know, it happens. Also, the Zarya pick into Genji, pretty good pick, just because he can't deflect a laser beam. I know he didn't fall. He lived somehow. I don't know where he went. Blade comes out, but again, beautiful responsive ult from Zarya there, or from Matt, just trapping the Blade. It looks like they are going to flip this, but Green Bay does have almost 90%. It's going to have like 90% of the point by the time they flip. So it's still very, very much in the favor of Green Bay. And then supports die at the same time, not really a crazy stagger. So we've had 98% on point. So they just need to win 2 fights for Green Bay before they cap this. Meanwhile, Sam Houston's got at least 3 or 4. So still has the advantage of Green Bay.
Yep, does look like Wi-Fi is close to his ult again, but he just died to the Prosper. Oh, we do see Peaches has hits in a rush.
Yeah, the rush angle here is not my favorite, but as long as they can push around the corner, what they're doing, the rush here wouldn't be terrible, but they just don't have Wi-Fi up to have that extra damage they need to break point this. But they have a pretty good setup for the if Houston rush comes around on that staircase. Pretty good rush angle on that now. Looks like Savathun does fall. It's just the dive on the backline means they couldn't heal the Zarya there. Pretty unfortunate, but I knew coming up from Wi-Fi picks up 1. Looks like they may be able to pick up Tector here. Yep, he does fall. It's leaving Green Bay up 1 on point. Now they're even. Actually, no, they're still up 1. Pretty even on point. I think they're down 1 now. It's hard to keep track of. I love Overwatch, but it is a very overstimulating game. Trying to keep track of everything. But Savathun is back on point. Grabs trying to stall it, they're really trying to get this flip here, so they're not playing because they're playing on match point for Sam Houston. So if Green Bay loses this, they do lose the map. So they're just putting everything they can into this one fight, which it looks like they do win, flipping the point at 99, capping it. So we're at match point 2 for 2. So this is going to be the deciding point of the map, and if we either end here or go to map 4.
Very, very interesting comebacks from both teams. Seeing Sam Houston come out 2-0 on this map, I think, activated a switch. And we were able to adjust the things and eventually recover. That was a great comeback on this last point for Sam Houston.
Looks like we are. Route is switching to the Lucio here for Sam Houston. I think just trying to get them moving around the map a little more, just getting back to point more. Just kind of, the movement was. Just trying to get them moving around more. They're walking. Green Bay is walking into a very good rush angle from grass, just straight down that main choke. So it doesn't need to come out, but it does make it harder for them to push in. I think they're gonna have to regroup here with Savathun falling. They just stagger out on Peaches, but with Kiri's ability to teleport back, oh no, that's not a stagger. Spawn timers are weird now. They're still not. Some timers get a little goofy now. I keep forgetting that. Green Bay is coming back with the ult advantage. Well, actually, yeah, so we're coming back with the ult advantage with both support ults and 2 DPS ults. So it's looking pretty good for Green Bay here, walking back on the point. Although again, they are walking into a very strong rush angle. Peaches does rush and Grass does the counter rush. Hainu comes out from Prosper, picks up 1, and then Zora does fall as well. Hector just walking into the back line, walking into the Wi-Fi, getting the pick onto that. So now it's just both supports on point. And then we did use 3 of those 4 ults, and it's a very close fight on point. Unfortunately, unfortunately for Jay at least, the fight is lost there, but Zora able to pick up 1 onto Hector. They're having a very long drawn out fight. Blade does come out. We still have 1 for GB on point, trying to start the overtime, and
it's going to
and
be
there's
very,
only Cass on, only Prosper on point, so they are to flip it. A beautiful comeback from Green Bay, just throwing everything they can into that. The ult econ for both teams is kind of in shambles, but that's what happens when you're running both teams match point. The ult econ tends to be a little less efficient than early game, just because you're running those long drag out fights.
No, absolutely. I think we're about to see an EMP and a tectonic shot. Yep, we are.
Oh, Savathun gets 3 with it's 4 with the grab, completely shutting down that fight with a single ult. Meanwhile, a tectonic shock does come out inside of Sam Houston, picks up, I don't think he picked up anybody. So beautiful, beautiful ultimate from Savathun there, just completely shutting down that fight. However, Sam Houston coming to the beat, which only drags out these fights even longer. And with the ulti con being the state it is, with Sam Houston being closer, a long drag-out fight is the last thing that GB wants.
No, absolutely. The way that Sam Houston has, and there we go, the beat drops, which is providing them with a lot of extra HP, and it does seem like it's being effective for them.
Yeah, Jay's still the only one on point here. Does try and pick it up, but it does look like they're gonna flip it for Sam Houston. Yeah, like I said, the last thing GB wanted was that there was a long drag out fight, especially because then, even if they didn't lose as quick as they did, we would have fallen to some of those ultimates. So again, very strong comeback from Sam Houston. Looks like the break is what they needed, just to take a minute to regroup, reset. Re-strategize. Zora does get play of the game here. It's going to be that grab blade on the second point. Makes perfect sense. He did get 4 there. I think it was 4? Was it 3? Oh, it was 4. So, yeah, it makes perfect sense that was play of the game there. Very, still a very strong map from Green Bay, even though they lost it. Sam Houston did a great job. Again, that break is really what they needed. Just rethinking how they're going to deal with Green Bay. Again, I think that they came into the first map, especially with that thought mindset of, we've beaten them before, we can do it again. And it's understandable, but it's good to see that they are able to come back and recalibrate of like, okay, this team is not the same one we've dealt with before. They're coming back with a lot of new strategies here, a lot of new play styles trying to counter us specifically, so we got to do the same to them. Running the mirror is, I think, pretty good at that because they run very similar hero pools, both teams. So turning it into less of a counterwatch matchup and more just mechanical differences, I think, it's all right. It is a bit of a gamble to run the mirror there, but if you're confident, it works out. Looks like they are going to New Queen Street, not Coliseo. Okay, well, that was my one thing I was wrong on, but I guess it is the Green Bay map pick, so that makes perfect sense. I'm pretty sure we're bigger fans of New Queen Street and Green Bay, but I could be wrong there. So we'll see what the bans are here. Honestly, what would you ban on New Queen Street? I wouldn't be surprised to see a ball ban coming out from Sam Houston if they let it. Just because ball on New Queens can be a little bit frustrating, but we'll see how it goes. Looks like Tracer ban coming out from Green Bay. Makes sense. Prosper on that Tracer was just really annoying running the Tracer venture for Sam Houston. Made it very difficult for Riley to play his character of Venture. Had to play that cast, which it was working out, but not having to switch off Venture I think will be helpful for Green Bay here.
Absolutely. And we see the ball pick coming out. What?
Absolute cinema. I'm a genius. I continue to only be right. Ignore the times I was wrong, like about the map. That's it's fine. My batting average is still pretty decent, I will say. But so we'll, again, the ball ban makes sense, and looks like they are going to take a 5-minute break again, because I think they are still worried about this being a match point. Just trying to be like, okay, what are we going to do? It's their map pick. They banned Tracer, so we're gonna have to be a lot more careful how we do into back line. They don't have ball, but they still have Doomfist, they have Sigma, still have Rams. The tank hero pool for Green Bay is pretty extensive.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to ban out the tank, but banning out the ball on New Queen Street still makes perfect sense. So I think they're just gonna take 5 to just try and figure out what they're gonna do there. I think we are also gonna take 5 as well. I gotta get some water. I'm very thirsty. Anything you want to say before you cut the break here?
No, I think you covered that pretty good.
Alrighty, well then we will be back in a couple minutes for more lovely Overwatch gaming. All right, welcome back. We're on New Queen Street. Looks like we're running pretty similar comp to what we ran on Busan for Green Bay here with the Sigma, Venture, Bastion, Ana, and Curie. Again, just very high damage comp here. It seems to be something Green Bay's worked on a lot. It's just the way they play it is very good. I think they played that King's Row before too, so I'm not exactly surprised to see it. And then we're running a pretty standard kind of brawly comp for SSSU. Looks like their tank's going to fall to half pretty fast. Get melted down with the Bastion. Matt does fall pretty much immediately in the fight. Just again, the damage output from Green Bay here is a little bit strong for Ramatra, especially with that anti-heal coming out. Looks like they're going to pick up. What's that? Looks like they're still even on point here with Peaches and Dora falling, but with the the Bastion Venture sandwich there for Dector just not able to get out of that.
No, absolutely not. We saw the Bastion melt them pretty fast.
Yeah, not much you can really do when you're looking directly at a Bastion at point blank. You're seeing a Soch come up from Prosper here because of the Tracer ban. Not a bad pick, especially on King's. Not King's Row, sorry. Episode 2 games ago apparently. New Queen Street here. Pretty good pick here. Just again, you get a lot of good value on these long straightaways. And the ramp here into the Sigma isn't terrible. Just because you can punch through the kinetic grasp, you can punch through the shield. Sector does pick up Peaches, going after Jay here. Backline does fall, but he does die 4, but that's still a 2-for-1 trade, 1 DPS for 2 support. So Sam Houston's still coming with the value. Rockbody does try to even it out, but with Zoro falling, it's not much that he can really do there. So I just kind of have to give it a point. But they did get an initial advantage there. It looks like 39 meters. Is that 20 or 30? It's a little crunchy on my 30. Thank you. Yeah, so 39 meters. Pretty good first push. Lets them a lot of space. And again, they are running in with ult advantage here. So still pretty good start for Green Bay, even though they lose that last fight. Because they're walking in with about to be 3 ults. So looks pretty good. Although they're walking into Kasuni Rush. Nanomoose comes out onto the Bastion. I want to say you kind of hate to see it, but honestly, with the way they're playing, you might as well. They have Annihilation. Annihilation comes out trying to keep the fight a little longer, trying to stall it out. It doesn't look like it's going to work here with the amount of damage they're pumping out. Even the Nano Bastion is not enough for too much for Green Bay to deal with, and Sabatune just kind of let them kill him just to avoid the stagger. But they used 3 on the side of Sam Houston there with the Annihilation, Overclock, and I keep forgetting. I think it's Tidal Wave. I'm gonna keep saying Tidal Wave. I might be wrong, but we'll figure that out later. From is it? Oh, it's yeah, Wu Yang. Sorry, I'm trying to read the names here. That's Route. I was close. Tidal Blast, according to the tech team back here. So I was close. I will take it as close. The Phoenix Flux does come out from Green Bay, picks up 1, and it looks like Green Bay is just able to capitalize on that and pick up the rest of the kills from there. Very good comeback from Green Bay. Again, they did have the ult advantage. They only had to use 1 for that. So they are walking in with a decent advantage for next fight. Again, you can definitely tell that they chose this map. They know exactly what they're going to do on it. They're with Kitsune Rush, making it a little difficult for Sam Houston to take the space here because of when they walked in, but they could counter rush that. So it's not the worst thing in the world for Sam Houston, but it is going to make it a little more difficult.
No, absolutely not. I think this map, Green Bay has a much better sense of ult control than they've shown the past few maps. So I'm interested to see how they utilize these respectively. We see Kirito here bring out Kitsune.
Yeah, good rush coming through just to kind of push that up. They're pushing very far in the spawn here. With the way it's looking, it looks like they might take the lead here just because the amount of space they're taking while pushing. That's one thing you can always say about Green Bay. They're very confident. They're very willing to take that space. Everything does fall. Does pick up Texture posthumously with the artillery barrage there, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough as Overclock comes out and picks up Jay. So only 1 ult usage for 2 of Green Bay. But it does come very close, within 2 meters of advantage here. So Sam Houston still lead, but only by 2 meters. So it's still not looking terrible for Green Bay, and that's also not looking terrible for Houston. So it's still a very close game here. Let's We're waiting for a Kitsune. I would not be surprised to see a Kitsune rush for this corner here from Grass, just to try and push that up, just like around this corner. But once not getting dove by Ri-Fi there. Very good. Tectonic shot coming in from Ri-Fi, picking up one. Looks like they do just get the whole team there. Very good play. Looks like Ri-Fi picked up 2 with the Burrow, which is not something you see every day. But they are walking into 4 ults from Sam Houston. So we will see how that goes. Again, I would not be surprised to see a Kitsune rush leading in here on this fight, just because I know they need to take that advantage back. Never mind, Tidal Blast does come out and Tectonic Shock instead of Kitsune. I guess I was wrong about that. Again, just ignore when I'm wrong, I'm always right. And does look like that's enough to, maybe enough to push it over. Never mind, the Bastion's coming with too much damage, and Zord is taking the rest of it. So everything does fall there to the to Prosper. Yeah, to Prosper, but again, still not enough to even out the fight, and then GB does take the lead. A lot of ults used that fight. Looks like we used pretty much everything. Except for Kitsune, except for the one thing I said they'd use. They must have heard me, and they're just saving that rush there. But, I mean, saving rush here isn't terrible, because, again, you just get to use it for this defense now. I mean, rush, if you save it and use everything else, it's not terrible. Rush is a weird ult. It's like it can be game-changing, but it usually has to be comboed with other things to be useful. Peaches does come out, the counter rush comes out from Grass. And then looks like Sabbath is being dove in the back here, but Peaches does go back to stabilize that fight. Jay does fall, and so does Ri-Fi. And it looks like the Kitsune rush, I take it back, is enough to push Sam Houston into Sam Houston's favor. All decons pretty even still. I think GB has a slight lead, but
yeah, Green Bay has a slight lead, and I think that the lead they were able to take with the bot was very useful for them in this moment. Gives them some time to hopefully hold them.
Yeah.
And at this final choke point.
It's also important to note that Green Bay does still have forward spawn, or at least did for most of that push. So they're just coming back to fight a lot sooner, keeping that advantage up. Death Blossom coming in for Prosper might just pop in the back line here. Never mind, gets immediately hit for the Creation and slept. Rabbinic Flux coming up from Zoro here, picks up 1, might pick up 2 on the Lucio, picks up 2. Prosper falls to Sabbath in there, gonna pick up 4 on Zoro here, and the whole team gets wiped for Sam Houston.
Very solid job from Green Bay that on their defense here, and we see them still keeping their ults with both Venture and Ana. And we saw them break out a nano shock earlier. So it'll be interesting to see if they decide to try and do that again once they get to this final.
Yeah, it's you don't really have to ult more after you hit 3 with Rabbinic Flux, but it does look like they're going to fall here with 2 picks coming out immediately from Vector and Prosper. And Prosper does still have that Death Blossom, so they got to keep an eye on that. Zora does pick up 1, immediately gets traded out. Ri-Fi manages to pick up 2, might be able to equalize this, but not with Azari at full charge. Might stagger here. Yeah, Ri-Fi does unfortunately stagger there even after picking up 2, but not what you can do with a full charge Zarya.
No, absolutely not. If he was able to burrow, he would have. I think he would have been able to get her. But leave that for the next fight.
Yeah, we might have a grab Blossom here. Quite possibly one of the most disgusting ult combos in the game, but it's only disgusting because it works. So we'll see how that ends up going here. However, Green Bay does have a Suzu that they might, if they save Suzu for that, if they know to look for it, might be able to get him out of that sticky situation. But they still do have a lot of advantage in terms of just point progress. Prosper does fall before the grab can come out, so no worry about Grab Blossom here. Grab does come out with a rush, just trying to push damage through. Tectonic Shock comes out, just trying to get the people who are in the grab. Hector just driving the back line, picks up Jay, picks up Peaches, picks up everyone. And overall, big team wipe on Green Bay. But again, they are still running a pretty decent advantage, and it looks like we are in last fight territory here with 35 seconds left on the clock. So as long as they have touch, they might be able to bring this back. But the touch might be difficult. Wi-Fi goes in just to try and stall the touch here. 45 seconds left on the clock. Doomfist coming out, trying to stall that out. Looks like we had a beat come out from Route there, just trying to stall it out as well. It's just playing around, trying to get it. And then looks like they are going to... Sam Houston is going to take the lead here with... trying to beat that clock. 17 seconds? 17 seconds left on the clock here. So very rough situation for Green Bay, because that means they have to walk all the way back with overtime if they do retake this. But it looks like they might just end up full capping here from Sam Houston. Death wasn't coming out in spawn. In Spawn, you'll love to see that. So it looks like they are just gonna full cap for Sam Houston here. Unless Shore manages to pick up 5. But even if they do, even if Green Bay does manage to flip that, they have a very rough time retaking this, just because they have to walk all the way across the map in overtime. But it does look like Sam Houston is going to full cap. So we are going to a 2-2 series here. One last game to win the entire season. We are going to a 5-game series. You love to see it. For a second there, I thought maybe Green Bay sweep, but Sam Houston said no.
We jinxed it, Paula.
No, we really did. Well, to be fair, I did say I wanted a 5-game series just to keep it exciting. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. So talking to Varsity after this game, depending on how it goes, might be a little interesting. We'll see how it goes. Zora does get 4 in this play of the game here. Makes perfect sense. The 3-man Gravitic Flux is a very strong thing there. So makes perfect sense how I was playing the game. I'm wondering where we're going to go for Green Bay here, because they only have Escort left. And last time that happened, they went to Circuit and then they lost. So I'm wondering if we're going to pull the Circuit again or pull out something a little more interesting, like maybe a Gibraltar. Maybe I'll get my Gibraltar once this season. We'll see. Although I don't know if they practice that too much. So I don't know if bringing about that in finals would be a great idea. But it would be funny, and I would like it. So therefore, I think they should do it. But more likely, we're probably going to get a Circuit here. Or what even are the other escort maps? I haven't seen a single other escort map besides Circuit all season. So,
wait, honestly, you might be right.
Well, no, most people don't pick escort, so I think the other ones are Paraiso and what's another? Oh, I'm missing the last one. That's gonna bother me forever now. Oh, 66, I think. Route 66 or Rialto, one of the two of those. So would not hate to see a Rialto. I haven't seen a Rialto in this level of play in a minute. But again, that's a map they haven't really practiced, so I don't know if they're going to bring that out. I think we might just go with the same pick of the Circuit. Even if they lost last time, they still know how to play the map, and they know they probably went over what went wrong last time, so we might just see that for the sake of familiarity from them. So we'll see how that goes. We are still waiting on map pick here, so we'll let you know the moment I find out where we're going.
Absolutely. Which reminds me of my Discord.
Very strong game from Sam Houston. For a while there, Green Bay did a great job. The break point, I think, was that Czar into the Sigma. Not to put too much emphasis on tanks, because I know everyone else does a great job, and Tector also popped off a few times. I feel like to point out there's a couple great dives he had on Jay and Peaches that just kind of seal the fight win. But running Zarya into Sigma is not fun for Sigma. As someone who's played that, it's not great. It's definitely not unplayable, but just losing any value from Kinetic Grasp does make it very frustrating to play into. So I think that definitely wasn't helpful for Green Bay, which is why Sam Houston picked it, to not be helpful. That is typically how these games go. And then the Reaper switch, I think, was also pretty good, just to kind of put pressure back onto Savathun, on that Bastion. Because again, Reaper, you just have to manage to get close, and then Bastion kind of blows up because he has the hitbox of your entire spread. So you don't really have to aim into Bastion. You just kind of look at him and he blows up, which is... Oh, we're going to 66. I will not complain about Route 66. Thank you for that. It looks like... Oh, Green Bay coming up with a Venture ban. Oh, you'd love to see that. I think they also noticed Tector popping off a little more last game, and also the fact that I've only seen Tector play Venture at least for every game I've seen this season. So it's gonna be very interesting to see where Tector goes after that. I'm thinking, I don't know what else. Maybe just pick up that Reaper. I don't know. I'm very excited to see what they end up playing with that, or if they're gonna. I don't know if you can sub in after bans for PCL. Actually, I'm thinking not, because I know that does work WC, but I didn't pull up the rulebook, but I'm just going to assume no, or we'll see if it does. But again, I'm just very interested to see where they go with that. They're not playing around with the bans this time. I think, again, they realize that Tector is a problem on that Venture. So the ban coming out for that makes perfect sense. And then we are waiting for the ban from Sam Houston on 66. What were they banned on 66? They can't ban a DPS. Might ban Ana again. I think they can ban Ana again because it's not consecutive. So that would be the ban that makes most sense to me, especially because they're banning the Sigma. Never mind. That also makes sense. That also makes sense. Just because if you can play this R in the Sigma here, It's just after first point, it gets a little bit frustrating. Like second point for that would be a little bit annoying because then it's just by height, you can't really do anything. So that makes sense. So they do still have the on in the game though, so that's going to be interesting for them to deal with. So everything makes sense. Again, it's interesting to see the 66 come out because I don't know if I've seen them practice this, but I also haven't been watching all the practices, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. With this Sigma ban, we might see Zoro and Savathun switch out again, just to trying to open up a new tank pool, pull out something different. But besides that, it's not like Savathun, like Zoro can't play anything, can still play Doom, still play Ball. But I do believe Savathun has more experience in the more brawly tanks from what I've seen. Oh, right, Zoro plays Junker Queen. I don't know. This is one of those games where it's like it's a map I haven't seen them play, so my ability to predict things is a little bit off. Unfortunately, I'm very excited to see how this goes.
No, absolutely. It's lived up to the hype as the PCL finals can go. Having it be a 2-0 lead, having it go back to back like this has been very, very fun to watch.
Yeah, good old reverse sweep maybe. I mean, obviously knock on wood. As much as I'm rooting for both teams as just an observer, still GB student. Can't really get rid of that. But again, if Sam Houston wins this, they put in an amazing performance. So I'm not going to be upset.
Absolutely.
Will I be as happy? Probably not, but I'm not going to be upset. All right, we're coming out with under Route 66 here. Looks like okay. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say it had to be just looking at some of the early picks out of spawn there. It looks like we have Rai the Genji for a second. I'm like that, but they do seem to be just messing with me as they like to do, messing with the casters here. So let's see what they end up picking. It looks like we are Green Bay is defending first and Sam Houston is attacking. So Green Bay picking defense first. I think they picked defense. I don't remember who picked side, but either way, Green Bay's defense here is going to be interesting to see because I think it's going to set the tone for the whole thing. Pick-wise, we have Zoro coming out on the Diva. I don't think I've seen him play that all season, but I believe in the vision. Rai on the Reaper, Savathun on Cass, and then okay. Looks like we're running a Far here from Prosper, and then we have Tector on that Reaper. Okay, that makes sense. It's the closest thing you got to a Venture. That's same with Rai. So both Venture players are playing Reaper. That makes sense. And then it looks like we're having Peaches come out of the BAP, just trying to get some of that poke damage out that you kind of lose from having the Sigma band. And also this Emo is very good. Although it's going to be a little bit rough for Zoro on that Diva into Matt's Zarya, but again, that is the joy of blind picking tank. Emo does come out, does fall short a little bit, but at least they have that reduced cooldown, so it evens out. Looks like we're just playing some early height control here. Makes sense. Just trying to play around that angle, stop them from flanking. Which Tector does go in on the flank there. Doesn't really get much damage in. Savathun almost falls to the Pharah there, or to Prosper's Pharah, but it's not enough damage. Taking good cover. Wu Yang almost going around the corner with the primary fire, taking out Savathun. A very your average Wu Yang moments there. Tector does fall, does overextend a little bit, drumming into 4 people on Reaper. We've all done it. And then looks like Green Bay is looking to capitalize on that. Wi-Fi teleports going in, just trying to flank around, shooting Pharah versus Reaper there, and Pharah loses. Looks like we're also going to I think he's also going to lose their wait, which one did I just watch die? Having 2 Reapers on the screen is throwing me off a little bit. Okay, no, the J did fall there, my bad.
I believe Jay fell first, and then our Reaper got prospered.
Okay. Yeah, having 2 Reapers threw me off for a second. That's my bad. Then we are seeing Tector switch. We're seeing a swap here from DBS. Prosper going back on the Reaper, and we have Tector picking Echo. Also, another decent switch off of the Venture. Still pretty similar play styles going trying to assassinate. Amplification Matrix comes through, just kind of stalling out the timer there. Doesn't get anything, but it's a very good stall because they know not to peek. Flashbang comes out. Ooh, into the bubble. Prosper picks up 1 on Rai, goes in, gets out with a bubble. Again, Reaper Zarya is just an absolutely devastating combo. Everyone, and someone who plays Cass, plays Ashe, I always look to try and disrupt him out of teleport, but it's hard to do with the Zarya bubble. Then you also feed Zarya, so it's honestly is a very good picks there from Sam Houston to be as frustrating as humanly possible.
No, absolutely, and we see them maintaining control over this corner here. They're not letting them peek out from behind the rocks at that point, which is very, very crucial.
He might give it. Kitsune Rush comes out on the point, but looks like even self-destruction to come up from Zora, just trying to keep the fight alive a little longer. Jay, Kitsune Rush on point. We have Savathun on the back here, trying to just pull the pressure from the back. We do lose Ryfry and Jay at the same time. Savathun does fall on point, and it is a first point cap for Sam Houston, leaving the timer at 3 minutes and 55. Again, beautiful, almost 4-minute timer from Houston here. Very good push. Savathun coming up with with the Widow. Just I think trying to get some early picks during fights, doing the pre-fight, rather than just kind of letting them walk in. They know trying to play reactive to this Reaper Zarya is not going to work. They have to play very proactive, trying to get those picks early. Because responding to the Reaper is not going to be as effective as you'd hope with the Zarya. Death Blossom might come out here. I can see the vision. Oh no, that's sorry. I keep getting confused with Prosper. I hate having two Reapers with the same skin. My bad. Oh, it throws me off every time. I also might just be tired. This is a 5-game series. You know how it goes. But they do have Grab Blossom again, so we'll see how that goes.
And then we have Echo at Ultimate as well, which is going to be very, very interesting to see.
The double Death Blossom. I see it in the future. But they do get Prosper before any Blossom can happen. Then we have the Mirror coming out from Zoro here, so that both teams have that Zarya Reaper combo, which is just getting very frustrating. They do use the grab without the Blossom, but they still pick up 2 with the Wu Yang. Savathun on point, just trying to stall it out, does fall, staggers a little bit, and then again 4-minute push in the 3rd point here. Very strong attack from Sam Houston. They're playing a very, very aggressive comp, kind of playing Green Bay style into them. Ash coming out from Savathun, I'll never complain about that. Although into this comp it might be a little bit interesting, but we'll see how it goes. It will make dealing with Tector a little bit easier.
Yes, it will. Just again, getting those peaks in is very important in this final point of the map, especially when you're dealing with that huge time advantage that Sam has right now.
Death Blossom comes out, does miss. Beautiful coach gun from Savathun pushing it back. You'd love to see that. Beautiful Ash play there. Jay does fall to Prosper still though, and so does Peaches. Both supports are down from Prosper. Savathun isn't able to take him out, but this is not enough this late. And then Zora does fall with the lack of stealing. They're like Sam Houston's noticing how aggressive this team is and trying to take advantage of the fact that they might not heal as well as they maybe could. But again, it's not like it's a failure of GB style, it's just them adapting as soon as they adapt their style to be a little more focused on heal here. With that Juno, it might be a little easier with a speed ring. Orbital Ray does come out, just trying to stall the fight. Looks like we're looking at a Echo duplicating the Kiriko here, just trying to get some extra healing in, a little bit extra chip damage. We do lose Ryfry, and then, but it doesn't look like Jinbei is able to stabilize the fight, holding with 2 meters to point at 2 minutes.
Now we're talking.
Great save from GB there. They nearly lost it at the cost of 2 of their ults, but Zarya just got ultimate back, and Ash is approaching 80% right now.
Bob here could be everything. This point is great for Bob. Reaper coming in through again with a bubble, just trying to keep it in. But again, I'm loving the cast switch from Wi-Fi, honestly, because then you still get that long range poke from the Ash. Again, we're taking the remote detonation perk as well, makes it very easy to get a lot of poke damage with the dynamite without actually having to skill shot that, which makes perfect sense. We got Bob coming out, but again, I do love the cast switch from the Wi-Fi just because it allows for that peel that I was talking about. You can heal the supports a lot easier, you can heal the Ash a lot easier. You have a lot more things to do with the Reaper, but Prosper still picks out Savathun, just with that Zarya bubble, still very oppressive, even with the Cassidy. Grab does come out, but they don't really have anything to capitalize on it. Savathun does pick up 2, but I don't know if it's going to be enough here. Bob might be able to get back to spawn if they just bob the point. Might be able to stall it out, but honestly, I don't know if they have touch here. Bob does come out on point just in time to stop it. Just pick up Prosper. Beautiful Bob on point just to kind of stall it out. And the Doomfist coming out to try and get that touch. Very good stall. You'd love to see good old Bob on point.
I
And then we
think
have
honestly
Pioneer.
that may have saved
Oh, it
saved
100%
F right
did.
here.
Yeah, and then they are switching to May here, which when you're playing this close to spawn, you might as well do, because you're not really going to have the opportunity to play those longer angles if they're putting this much pressure, because you can't leave spawn when you have a Reaper Echo, because the backcapping possibility at this level is a little too close. So running a bit more of a brawl comp on point makes perfect sense.
No, absolutely. May has the ability to use her wall to block off key points there, which forces them to either explore method or just a waste of time and breaking it down.
I'm probably trying to duel Prosper here. Does look like he's going to lose the duel, just because Reaper is a very difficult character to duel at that close range. Kitsune Rush coming out from grass, just giving Prosper that extra little damage he needs to kill, what was that, somebody. There's just so much going on, my bad. Yeah, fifth game, kind of losing my brain a little bit. They do get one on route, but it's just not enough. Death Blossom coming out and spawn again.
Yeah, Death Blossom coming out and spawn. Good job on Green Bay keeping it. I think it was 6 seconds on the clock for them. Yeah, 6 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, going from 4 to 6 for the hold there is nothing to scoff at. Even with the full cap, you still cut off a good almost 4 minutes. So very, very strong hold from Green Bay, but also very strong attack from Houston. Again, that Zarya Reaper, very, very difficult to deal with. Just because then all the things you do to use to deal with Reaper don't work with Bubble, so you kind of have to shift how you think about it. I honestly would not be surprised to see a Bastion come out into that from Savathun again, just because then you can burn the bubble faster. There it is. I'm a genius. And then you have Ball from Zoro on attack here. Makes perfect sense. Just kind of get that extra aggression. Although into this comp, it might be a little bit rough. And Tector, again, proving that I was a little worried how he would play without the Venture, but proving to be no slouch on that Echo. Getting a lot of good kills there, a lot of good damage. Good duplicate on the Kiri just to put that extra chip damage in, extra healing. Duplicating a support is something I don't see the most often sometimes, but on Echo, it can honestly make or break a fight just because a third support can do a lot. Budget goats is what I'm thinking of when I think that. But we'll see how this goes. Let's see what we got. Looks like same views and counts pretty much the same though, with that exact same Jar Reaper. Let's see. Zoro going in, just trying to do a little bit of poke damage, trying to disrupt their line, pull attention away from the team. Does almost fall there just because the amount of damage they're able to pump into him, but knows how to get out, knows how to play with health packs, so it stays alive there. Right from the Cassidy makes sense to do with the Echo and the Reaper, because then can have Savathun burst the bubble and then Wi-Fi hinders. So a lot of good combo potential there you can do with the peel. Again, they seem to be focusing on their DPS seem to be focused on peeling supports after the amount of times they got dove that last round, which makes perfect sense because again this comp is very dive heavy.
No, absolutely, and they seem a lot more focused this time around. We see. Zarya was close to falling there, but they managed to save her.
Yeah, Matt does get 2 there. Very, very rough for Green Bay, but there's still a lot of potential with this comp, especially with the Ana coming in. Because then you get a lot of opportunities with Nano, you get a lot of opportunities with being able to sleep. There's a lot more things to deal with the Reaper as well. Just because the Prosper and the Reaper seems to be a bit of an issue here. Artillery Barrage just come up. Picks 2 with artillery. How does the Savathun do this every time? I have never seen someone get so many consistent kills with that ultimate. Looks like a Prosper does get slept there, but does manage to break out. Gets anti, gets taken down. Again, I want to say the fight was won on the back of that Savathun, picking up 2 by ulting down main. Again, I have never seen someone get so many consistent kills with Bastion ult, but somehow he does it.
Where there's a will, there's a way, and he seems to have found a way there.
We're coming up on Grab and Blossom again with almost both support ults up, so very rough. If Green Bay can't cap it here, it's going to be a little rougher. And Blossom comes out, picks 1, but ulting in front of a Bastion with both supports on him. Very rough choice there, but doesn't matter because did enough damage for Savathun to fall there. But they're walking back with 4 ults, they're running back with them. So for Green Bay, but they're also walking into 3 for Houston with the grab. So we will. It's gonna be. It's a little bit rough for Green Bay, but there is still a chance with their alt econ being the state it is.
Green Bay has been known as the comeback king for some time now, and don't count them out. Don't count them out yet.
Oh, I never will. Counting out teams is how you get really boring seasons. High noon here could be good just to try and push them off that height, but I don't think they're gonna go for it. Ooh, the Zoro does fall, goes a little bit too far. Not able to heal him up at that. Good nade comes out for the grab. It's not enough to out heal the amount of damage they're pumping in. They are running on last fight territory here with 54 seconds left on the clock. They're with 5 ults. They're just gonna have to pop something here. Honestly, just rush mine. Ryan comes out without mine. I mean, losing mine for Ryan switch into Zara isn't the worst thing in the world. But they still have 4 ults. They do kind of just the pop it here. Would not be surprised to see Nano Bastion again with maybe a rush, just kind of pop everything. Typically, I don't recommend that, but with the time of the clock, they might just have to. Looks like Kiri's looking for the rush. Yeah, rush comes out. Bastion ults again. Gonna pick up Nolan this time. High Noon comes out clearing that main choke. It picks up 1. Drought must have thought it was over. I've been reading that wrong the whole time. Whoopsies. Thought it was over, but does pick up 1. Nano comes out onto the Reinhardt. And then they do look like they are able to flip this again. They just kind of need to use everything there, which is a bit unfortunate, but there's not much you can really do when you're running with 10 seconds left on the clock in terms of last fight.
Absolutely. Good decisions on all of them, honestly. Reinhardt's at 80% ult right now. Just have to keep a watch on the Reaper and the Weeyong as well, as both of them either have ults or are going to be very close.
The cannon on Bastion here with the more explosive, slower explosive shots is an interesting choice into Azaria, simply because the value Bastion offers into Azaria is by, especially with a machine gun, being able to just burst down the bubble very fast, and having, well, yes, it does more damage per shot. It's better burst. It doesn't have that same ability to break shields that the Minigun would. Looks like we can do Shatter, picks up, I think, 1 there. Death Blossom just comes on the back line, picks up 2, picks up 3. Zoro is able to pick up 1, but it's not enough to equalize when he's down his entire team. Amazing Death Blossom for Prosper there, picking up 4 kills on the back line. Secured them that fight single-handedly.
Absolutely. Bought them some time that they desperately needed here, especially with Green Bay trying to mount a comeback.
Let's see here. We are walking back with a decent ult econ on Green Bay's side. They're getting their ult back up. However, they are walking into a Kitsune rush, which might be a little rough. I would not be surprised to see Grass just rush this angle now, especially after the death of Drought, just trying to equalize. Artillery Barrage does come out. Might pick up Kiri. Does not pick up Kiri, unfortunately. Max does pick up 1. Kitsune Rush comes out, trying to equalize the fight. Trying to finish that off. Stall it out a little bit. Kiri does, or Grass does fall there. Not looking great for Sam Houston. I don't know, maybe they'll clean this up. No, Green Bay might be cleaning this up. Yeah, they get that. Very good play from Green Bay. Just kind of committing, even with the playing off that early pick really well. Because the Kitsune Rush might have had to come a little bit earlier to equalize the kill after Drought fell, just to kind of get that healing output up. Like a very selfish Kitsune Rush would have been useful there, but it all happens. Sometimes, you don't want to waste an ult. You know how it goes.
Absolutely.
Especially when you're in such a dominant position. Oh, immediately, Tector does fall immediately in the fight there, but it is equaled out. They're playing pretty evenly here. Ryan does get nanoed, so he's just running into the spawn there. GB classic a little bit from Zoro there. Does pick up 2 with the nano, and it looks like they're able to cap that.
Yeah, I think the reason that they chose to do that there is to just stagger the healers and buy themselves some time. They know that their healers are too good to let them respawn alongside the DPS.
Yeah, no, very, very good fight there from Green Bay. And they're running into this fight with a Kitsune Rush. And then Savathun's famous Artillery Barrage. So we'll see what they're going to pick up with that. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Kitsune Rush just come right through this corridor, especially with the Shatter just kind of trying to force Ryan past. Artillery Barrage comes out first, and with the Rush, trying to pick up any kills on the backline there. Doesn't get any, but does get damage. Still walking in with a Shatter from Zoro. I think he's trying to save it for kind of bubbles. Looks like we're going for a Death Blossom on the backline here from Prosper, but they managed to spot him out and kind of scare him off the angle. I'm expecting to see Shatter pretty soon here with the way this fight's going. Just trying to throw it right down main. Suzu comes out. They're waiting for the Suzu. Picks up one. Does get slapped right out of Shatter, but they do force out the sleep. Idle Blaster comes out. Knocks down Zoro again. Blizzard comes out from Fry, just trying to get some momentum on the point, but it might be a little late because they don't have anyone to follow up on the Blizzard. I mean, with the 14 seconds left, we're running in last fight territory here. It might, if they might have touch. I think Ryan does have to. Zoro does have touch with Ryan. If he can just gotta walk in here. Does have touch. Walks in. Walking in with no ults, and then they still have to worry about Prosper. The Death Blossom. Blossom looks like it's gonna come out here in a second, and still waiting on it.
He was gonna try.
He's definitely looking for it. He's going for it. Picks up one. Picks up two. Picks up three. Sabathu managed to blow himself up with the perk, and then that Death Blossom from Prosper is what seals the deal on this game.
Yeah, that Zarya Reaper bubble was devastating the entire time. That was a very well fought match from Sam Houston.
Yeah, I can't even be upset. That was a beautiful game. Prosper coming in with those, with I think at least 2 clutch blossoms. I think that's gonna be the first one in that quarter there. Yep, I continue to be a fortune teller. Again, this is beautiful. Picks up 4 on the backline here. Waits for the sleep to come out. Picks up 4. Beautiful, waiting for that sleep.
No, that's absolutely excellent spotting from them. I mean, just major props.
Especially having one of your DPS having their main be banned there and still playing that well is very impressive that they were able to correct that. I mean, Texture on the Echo wasn't it wasn't terrible. It's just compared to the venture value, it wasn't the same. But the Pros were able to pick up the slack on that and just completely go in, get 2 4K, or at least 3 to 4K Death Blossoms there. Beautiful plays from Sam Houston. Great plays from Green Bay as well. Even in the last game, there was a lot of really good plays with the. I think there was 2 artillery barrages that got to beautiful shatters. Like there's a couple good shatters there. Again, really close series. Again, I can't even say I'm that upset. Every game was close. I think the one that was the most one-sided might have been Busan, with the 2-point cap there, or the 2-0. But every game after that has been just really close. Kings Row was pretty close. They got a pretty good push for Sam Houston, and then just continued to be a really close series the entire time. So honestly, I'm really I'm trying to think. Any closing thoughts you have?
No. Final match. This was one of our support Jay's final match. His final match before graduation. So congratulations to him on graduation. Amazing time getting to see him play in his final matches. Best of luck to him after graduation, and congrats to Sam Houston.
Oh yeah, no, good on Jay playing in some amazing last series. Did a lot of really strong performances from the support backline. I feel like I didn't highlight them enough, which is my failing, but they did do a great job just dealing with a lot of the most annoying dive they possibly could have. I should have highlighted that more. Running the infinite dive DPS all game from Houston was rallying for them for staying alive for as long as they did every series or every game. So I should have highlighted that more in the game, but that is how this tends to go. So congratulations, Sam Houston. Beautiful games. I had a good time. This is the last game of the season. Sam Houston won finals, so very, very good for them. That's all I got. You got anything else?
No, that's it for me.
Alrighty, well then we will see you later.